My name is Leon and I'm an MTT coach of the Academy of Poker. And today we're going to speak a little about the opportunities of poker in 2019. If you have any questions, you can put them in chat and I'll talk with you. First of all, let's say, how can we earn today using poker? And we have 4 ways: gaming, staking, coaching, and streaming. And if you are really interested in some of these ones, let's speak about it. First, let's compare a professional player's life and a worker from factory's life. So, the positive moments of the professional player's life. First is that you don't need any special abilities. There is a really big fear that if you want to be a poker pro, you have to have any computer in your brain. You just need to count really fast. You need to have a special memory and so on and so on. But if you really want to play low or micro stakes, you don't need any of this. All fear with poker math consists that you just need to divide one number on another and that's all. So I think that it is really a big fear and it isn't true. Second one, you have an ability to have another income. Means that if you're going to a factory and you start working there, you'll need 2 or 3 years to get really good amount of money, good salary. And if you are studied to become a poker player, you can have a really good money in something like 4 or 5 months. Of course, you need to have really big time and sometimes big money spending here. But in the end, you will have another income. And if you're working as a factory worker, you maybe won't get over income anywhere and anytime. Moving on, you don't need to live in one place. If you're a poker pro, you just need to have a stable internet connection and a computer or a notebook, and that's all. You can live in one place for 2 or 3 months, then you can move on to another country or another city, and all you need just is an interest. Hi Leo, I see that our chat is alive, so hello guys. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Next one, you don't have travel and meal expenses. If, for example, you're a factory worker and you want to start a poker career, and you start comparing, for example, let's say, at my factory I earn 700 euros. I don't think that it is a big amount of money, but for me it is okay. And if I studied my poker career, for example, I will earn something like 500 euros in 4 months. What does it mean? That our poker pros career get us a little amount of money, but you don't need to buy bus's ticket. You don't need to feed your car. You don't need to feed yourself at some restaurants and etc. You can just cook at home something, and you can afford to spend yourself some money in another way. So we have to count this amount of money if we are comparing 2 different ways of earning money. Cracked Robot Chip said that he's from Amsterdam. Welcome Netherlands. Next positive moment of professional player's life is that we have free schedule. And this point for me, it depends when it will be a positive one and when it will be a negative one, because not every person can organize himself in a good way. Because if you work at the factory, you just have to come at factory at, for example, 9 o'clock. You have a meal at 12 o'clock and so on. You just don't need to think yourself. You can do what somebody tells you, and that's all. And if you're a poker pro, you decide yourself when you work, when you sleep, when you eat, and so on. Maybe funny one, but it is really a positive moment that you get an opportunity to choose people around you. Because at factory, you should be and you should work with people that had the same place to work. And if you're a poker pro, you can just close all the doors and all the windows at your home, and you will be alone, or you will be with your friends or family, everything you want and every person you want. So I think that it is really positive moment of our lives. And poker tourism. I think it is a really big plus, but it costs a lot. But a little bit later we'll talk about it, and we will understand where we can find money for make poker trips. Next, negative moments. First, it is nightlife. Especially if you're an MTT player, you understand that all these sweetest tournaments are held in prime time. So if you want to play in a delight, I think you have to go to Mexico or other country where it is a different timing zone. Because if you are living in Central Eastern time zone, Central Eastern Europe time zone, you have to play at night in MTT, in cash, in sit and goes. So it is really bad for our health. Next one, it is really negative one, lack of stable monthly salary. If you're working at a factory, you will have some stable amount of money every month, or maybe 2 times in a month. And if you're a poker pro, you can finish your months without any money income, and it will be really bad news for us. But in other months you can earn 2 or 3 times of your usual stable month salary. So it's not stable, but it is more profitable. We have a question. Do you have many students so far? You know, I'm working as a coach for more than 2 years, so I have more than 100 personal students, and I don't count here my group courses, because if we'll count group courses and students there, it will be a really great amount of students. So let's say more than 100. We have a question. If I have an application for the free lessons, what themes we can discuss? Good question from Alexander. If you left an application, you'll have 3 personal lessons with your coach, with me, for example. And at the first lesson, we'll talk about your current situation in poker. We'll look through your hand history. I'll ask your questions. And we'll talk about the basic strategy, if you want. And if you have another questions, I don't know, maybe you want to know how to work with simple post flop or something like that, you have to tell me, and I'll help you. So we have 3 lessons with rather free themes to work with. Okay, moving on. Another negative moment is asociality due to different work schedules with workers. For example, it is Saturday or Sunday night and your friends say, let's go party. And you say, guys, I can't because I have a Sunday green session. I want to play Sunday Million. I want to play $1,000, and it is a really big problem. And for example, you can say, guys, let's party, and it is Tuesday. And not a lot of your friends, I think, say, it's okay, let's go. So it is a problem that you need to find friends who can play with you, who can party with you, not only in weekend. Because for poker pros, weekend it is a working time of the week, not a weekend. Next, downswings. It is connected with the second one, because if you are a poker pro, you need to understand that it is usual for a poker player to be in upswings or downswings. It is usual, it is the main point. So today we finished our poker session with a negative result, and tomorrow it will be positive, who knows. So you need to understand that it is common and it is usual. Next one, sedentary life, and it is a negative moment of not only professional players' life, it is a negative moment of almost 90% of people all over the world. What is the problem? That we always sitting at the chair, working with computer, and it hurts our body. We need to do some sport exercises to be in a good form. And if you don't do this, so I have a bad news for you. I hope that you are doing something with yourself. Next one, misunderstanding from family and friends. It is really big negative moment of the professional player's career, because when I started my poker career, my mother told me that I need to go to ordinary work. I finished my university with honors. I'm a specialist in transportation. So she said, Leo, you should go and put from Nice our country. You need to develop the logistics in our country. But I'm here, I'm playing, and if your family or your friends don't understand you, the most effective way to say them that it is a really work and that poker is a job is to give some money to them that you earned in poker. And if, for example, you come to your mom and say, Mom, look, I won $200 and you can take it and buy something for yourself. And only after this action, misunderstanding will decrease. Because if you just say, Mom, I will won $1,000 and something million sometime, maybe it will be okay for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but then she just will say you, hey, come on, let's go to work and to factory or to office or to shop or somewhere else. Just stop wasting your time on this card game. Next, 5-minute sprint. I think that MTT players will understand me. We are playing for, if you're playing MTTs, we play for 55 minutes and then we have a 5-minute break. And we should do almost everything just for these 5 minutes, starting from going to the bathroom and finishing with cooking somebody for yourself. And the second one problem connected with this 5-minute sprint, that if you are playing MTTs, you are tied with your poker session. If you started it, you need to know that the nearest 4 or 5 hours will be spent here playing poker. If you're playing cash game, you can start and finish your poker session whenever you want and wherever you want. But in MTTs, you cannot. Okay, you can. You can just turn off your PC and that's all, but you lose all your money. So it is a problem, yes. And the last one here is that you need to create workspace yourself. If you're working in an office, your employer will give you a table, a chair, a computer, and you don't need to buy anything at all. And if you are poker pro, you need to buy chair, table, computer, and so on, and it costs a lot. So it is really a problem, and somebody maybe don't think about this point as a problem, but it is. Next one, staking. What does it mean? Staking means that a poker investor gives money to a poker player, which is called the horse, in exchange for a part of the profits. Let's look at types of staking. First is the full one, when the player doesn't put his own money into the game at all. He just don't put anything. And the second one is a partial, where a player sells a part of his action and another part is paid by himself. So let's look at the profit sharing methods using staking. First is a sale with a coefficient. A multiplying or downward coefficient is used that allows the player to get a fixed salary. For example, we have a $1,000 buy-in, and we have a coefficient from, for example, coefficient 1.1. It can range from 0.7 to 2, depending on the player professionalism. So if you have a 1.1 coefficient and buy-in was $1,000, our price was $2,000, so player gets $100. We can get 100 by multiplying 1,000 to 0.1, and investor gets all the winnings, which are 2,000. And the second one, sharing profit methods, is sale with rollback. Action is sold without any coefficient, but player gets part of the profit, which is called rollback. The same example, buying 1,000 and rollback is 20% from profit. Prices the same, 2,000. So profit 2,000 minus 1,000 is 1,000. So player's rollback is $200 and investor gets $1.8 thousand. Hello Alex, welcome. So I think it is rather simple info for you to understand how we can share a profit using staking. Why do we need staking? If you are a player, first, we can play more expensive tournaments. For example, I can play tournaments from $11 to $55, but today I want to play Sunday Million, which costs $109. So I can ask my friends to stake me, and I say, hi, I want to play Sunday Million, but I have only $55. Could you please give me a little amount of money and to share my action here? And if he agrees, we start playing and we can win our 1,000 or more dollars. The second one, that we decreases our risks. It is really important, especially if you don't sell action for one tournament. It is very important when you sell action for example, 1 week or 1 month. Then, for example, if you finished your week in a minus, you'll just decrease your minus for 2 times. For example, if you sold 50% of your action. Hello, Leo, brand staff. Hello, welcome to our stream. The next one, that player can get a salary. In the previous slides, I said that poker player cannot get salary because of downswings, upswings, and so on. But if you are a staked player and you sell your action with a coefficient, you can get a salary. It won't be really huge, but why not? And the fourth one, why do players need staking? When player can return to normal limits after losing his bankroll. For example, he made a cash out to buy a car or to something like buy more expensive, maybe he wants to buy a house, so on. So he don't have a bankroll, but he can play really well. So he can say that, okay, I don't want to grind micro, I'll just sell my action, play my normal limits without my part of action, and I just grew with my bankroll, and then I'll just continue playing only by myself, only with my own money. Next, why investors need staking? First, staking performs high yield, high risk investments. I don't think that you can come to any bank and it will suggest you 15% annually. And in poker, you can wait for this percentage per year, but it is important, it is a high risk investment. In bank, you cannot lose your money if your bank is really cool and big. And in poker, downswing and your money are off. The same question, which was at the beginning of our stream session, did you have many students so far? I have worked with more than 100 students personally, and really a lot of students were working with me by group sessions. Another one question. Hi Leo, what is your tournament? I don't really understand what do you want from me to ask, because you mean what are my usual tournaments? I mean buy-ins or something like that. Could you please type your question in another form? Just I could understand it. I'm moving on. Second one, that investor can help really talented players. As I said, I worked as a poker coach for more than 2 years, and I worked with different kinds of people, and some of them were really very rich, and they have a problem that they want to help somebody, but they don't know how to do it. And staking can give them this opportunity to help. They can help a person who they really like, and at the same time they can earn. So it is a really big plus for an investor. Next one, investor can cheer for his player in expensive tournament, like in sports betting. As I said before, player and betting are called horses. So you can put a bet on the horse, and you can bet on a player and cheer for him. So it is really a plus. Question, what is my favorite tournament? I don't really have a favorite tournament because I played a lot tournaments at the same time, something like 9 or 11 tables at once. So if you want me to answer you, I mean that one of my favorite tournaments are Bounty Builders, because if we are playing Bounty Builders on PokerStars, we can get some money even not reaching the ITM stage. So it is really cool for me, and it is really interesting to play. I mean interesting, not profitable, but interesting. And in the same time, you can earn really well in knockout tournaments. How in Amsterdam? Okay, yeah, talking with yourself. Okay, moving on. Where can you find a player? For example, you have money and you want to find a player, a horse for yourself. You can find them in internet forums, or by personal relationships, or using the help of the staking companies. The easiest way is to find a player in internet, but we have a problem that if you try to find a player in internet, you need to know that all really sweet suggestions from the players don't appear at the public sphere. Because, for example, if you find a really cool player and you have enough money, you just say, look, maybe you will not create your suggestion in a public way. You just can talk me, or you can call me, you can type me and say that you want to play. I'll give you money only by myself. It means that really good investors don't want to share their players with other one. So it is better to find players on Poker Series. For example, you can go to Rosbadov, you can go to Sochi, you can go to Barcelona, and so on. And I hope that you are, if we can say, talkable person, that you like to talk at the table. So you can make any relationship with players around you, and you can suggest them to be their investor. Question from Robert Hannon: to be a pro poker player, do you have to be great at math? It was talked in the beginning of our session today. No, you don't need to be a math professor. All poker math consists something like dividing one number on another one, and that's all. You just need to divide, for example, 15 at 7, and that's all poker math. You need to know another skills. You have to be really good in analytics. That's an important point. But in math, no, you don't need to be great in this one. And moving on. You can ask me, what can I do if my player lost money? I think that this question should appear at your mind. So there is a makeup. Makeup is an amount of money that investor will take from any profit until two parties of the contract will be able to share profit. Sounds not understandable. So in other words, makeup is the player's debt to the investor. For example, if our first contract with investor was finished with negative result, for example, minus $1,000, and we started second one. The player will not get any amount of money until our total profit will not be greater than 0. After that, he will get his money again. But until, he will work only for his investor, and it means makeup. So for player, makeup is a bad thing, but for investor, it is some kind of a protection, of a shield from being stealing by the players. Okay, moving on. Coaching, the third one type of earning in poker. Let me say a little about the types of coaching. First, an hourly work means that some person comes to a coach, for me for example, and say, hello Leo, I have a problem, I don't know how to play in 3-bit pots, out of position in the late stage of tournaments. So really narrow theme. Then I say, okay, we need, for example, 2 hours to work with this topic. He just buy these 2 hours and we started our lessons. That's all. It is the easiest way for a coach because it is a student's problem. Did he manage to get all the information that coach wanted to give him? He don't have any guarantees that he will play better after these coaching sessions. And for example, if we say about the second one, it means until the result. It is named by until the result. It means next one, that we'll study only until you reach your result. Means, for example, you buy your coach, if I can say, for 2Ks, for example, $2,000, and you and your coach started training. You'll work until your total profit will be greater than $2,000. I don't mean winnings, I mean total profit. So it is your protection, because if you won't succeed during the 20 lessons which are guaranteed to you, you'll continue your studying, and it is really important for you. And if, for example, you will have an upswing and you will won after the second session some great tournament, and you will earn, for example, $5,000. You'll just continue your education until you get all the info that your coach wanted to give you. Wait a minute, our chat is broken. I need a second. I want to repair it. Just that a minute. I hope that now everything is okay. Let's see. Okay. Our chat is working now, so let's continue. So we have finished with the second one, type of coaching. Next, video courses. It is the most, I think, easiest type of coaching for a poker player, but it have some problems. First, you need to create really interesting and useful content to sell it. Second, you need to sell it. And third, you have to protect your content, because it is a really big problem nowadays. For example, I've bought MCT course from BenCB. I think that somebody from you know this poker player, know this coach, and my native language is Russian, and I bought this course in Russian language. And one day I scrolled my Discord parties, and BenCB typed there that something like, you know, guys, I've known that in Russian community piracy is spreading, and I know that my course it is spread by it is spread for free. So I decided that I will not create any more stuff in Russian language, and that's all. So such a big player with such a big auditory just couldn't save his info, and he just decided that he won't create any content in Russian language. And now all new courses that I am get from him are in English. So if you wanted to earn by video courses, you need to know how to protect it. So we have one more questions. Great stream, bro. Can I join your course? Irina, if you want to join our course, you can contact our managers. Their Skype is below. And also you can, let me show you. Also, you can contact our site using this tab. You can go using this link, and then you will have an ability to join our course. So, two ways. And we are moving on. Leo, hi, what is the biggest prize that you have had your student? One of the biggest prizes that my student have won was more than $86,000. It was the main event of the Micro Millions on PokerStars, and my student took here second place. And it was a really huge amount of money for him. So let's continue. The fourth one type of coaching is payments from future profit. It means that you don't need to pay anything at the beginning, and if you start earning, you will pay something for your coach. But it is really a bad type of coaching for coach, because it depends not only on his work, but on his students' ability to understand the info and to play a lot. And if, for example, your student is lazy and he don't want to play 400 tournaments per month, he just want to play 10 tournaments per month, he can start earning money in 5 years. So you try to coach him, you give him some info, you give him your time, and you didn't get any payment from the player. So this kind of coaching almost everywhere is used only by staking companies, because they don't give only the education to their players, but money. So they are staking their players. So let's move on. The positive moments of coaching. If, for example, you're a poker player, you're really good in your game, but you want to earn extra money. And let's say about the positive moments. First, you can get income without dispersion. For a poker player, it is really important because upswings, downswings, yes. And coaching is a stable salary that you can afford. Next one. It is a possibility to realize narrowly focused skills. What does it mean? Almost every year, somebody says that poker is dead, especially online poker is dead, and in 2-1 years, it will finish at all. So Poker Pro started thinking, what can I do if poker will die? And it's a problem, because you have really narrow skills. And what can you do? You can work at office and count pots? I don't think so. And coaching can help you to use your skills, even if online poker become dead, because offline poker will live forever, I think, and the info that you get far ago, you can use it. You can teach somebody, and you can earn some extra money here. Next one, it is a positive moment, really. It is development of additional skills, such as rhetoric, the ability to systemize information, and so on and so on. Because if you want to be a really cool coach, you have to be such a person who can speak in such way so that even stupid student could understand you, and even stupid student could know how to play to earn. So you need to speak really well, and you need to have a skill to systemize info, because nowadays it is a huge amount of info in internet. It is video courses, different kind of sites with info, with educational info, and so on, streamers, and you need to find something really important in this big amount of info. And if you're a coach, you are like a filter between your student and all this big amount of info, and you need to put in his hands only the most important one. And communication. It is really important for coach, because if you say a little about poker pros, especially about online poker pros, they have really a lack of communication, because with whom could they speak? Their friends are workers, so they are always working from Monday to Friday, and on weekends their friends can speak with them, but you're a poker pro, you need to grind. So because of the difference in their schedules, we just cannot communicate really in a good way. So coaching could help us just to speak with a real man, with real people. And it is really a positive moment here. Next one, before and after effect. For me, it is the greatest one, positive moment from all of this. Because I really like to look how a person who come to me really low skilled and maybe upset because he loses some amount of money every month or every week, and if this person can do something to improve their gaming skills, if this person win his first $100 or his first $1,000, for me it is really great emotions, because when my students message me via Skype or etc., and he says, "It's Leo, I have won $300." I'm really becoming upset, because it is great. He could work at his factory for a week or for a month to earn this money, and he just managed to earn it in one evening. And that's really cool for me. And if, for example, you want to become a poker coach and you come here only just to earn some money, I don't think that it is a really good point for you. Maybe you should find another one. Do you communicate with other coach and how you improve your skills? It is a good question. I really communicate a lot with our coaches in our company, and I communicate with other coaches from another projects, especially with MTT players, but some of my friends are cash players, and sometimes we just create something like educational lessons, and we just use Skype, and we discuss different themes of poker, and it means something like one person say that, "Guys, I've seen a really cool video and I want to tell you a little about it." So we just using our confoes to speak with each other and to learn this info from a person who have watched the video. So, for example, video was for 1 hour, and he in 10 or 15 minutes give us all the important info from it. So it is, for me, it is really good way to improve our skills. And if we will not talk about the other persons, just we'll talk about improving my gaming skills only by myself, I use software. I use the GTO solvers, like simple post-flop for post-flop, and on pre-flop I use AcademyPoker, and this software can help me to improve my skills. And with this software you can work for days, for weeks, for months, and it doesn't have any end points. You can work and work and work, because game is grow almost every day, and you need to understand how your opponent's playing, and you need to create your strategy to overplay your opponents, and you just need time on all this stuff, and you need to have instruments to create your strategy. So the software is our instrument to improve our skills. Next one, negative moments of the coaching. You need to constantly prove your worth. If you're a coach, you have a really prejudged attitude, because you ask for money for your info, so you should know everything. And always your opponent will try to maybe like bite you with different questions, because they say, "You're a coach, you should know it, so tell me something," and so on. It is really it was difficult for me at the beginning of my coaching career, because it was I afraid to stream my sessions, because I thought that somebody will come to chat and he will say that I am a fishing player and I cannot play really well and I am bad and so on. But day after day, week after week, I just say, "Okay, you can talk anything at chat. It's your deal, it's not my deal." I just continue my work, I just continue improving my skills, and I continue coaching, and that's all. And the final moment here at this slide is a question. If you play so well, then why do you train? Almost every streaming session, there is one or two persons who ask this question. And my answer is, I really love what I do because of before and after effect and so on. I just tell you a little about this earlier. So I just like to coach, and it is my job. And also, you know, my poker friends, about whom I talked with you a little bit earlier, they periodically ask me, Leo, why are you staying here in this academy? Just come with us, we will play, we will grow, we will improve our skills, we'll play more expensive tournaments or more expensive limits in cash game, and you'll earn more now. And okay, I really agree with them. If I will play all the time and I will not spend my money and my time for students, I will grow up faster. But I like my job, so that's why I am training, that's why I am here. Next, streaming. What is streaming? It is streaming of your game on YouTube and Twitch. PokerStars or Party Poker, it depends, Andrei. Today, if you are an MTT player, you cannot afford yourself not to play at PokerStars. Even if you know that they are really doing bad things for player day after day, month after month. You know, when they started to decrease the rakeback bonuses and so on, I thought, what can they do with MTT players? They don't have any beliefs that they will earn on rakeback. They just play and the tournaments, and that's all. So how could you decrease their winnings? But PokerStars find out something. They increases rake. They started to put rake from rebuys in tournaments. They decreases guarantees. So they're really professional ones in stuff of taking money from players. And from this point, I think that Party Poker is better now. But I just cannot afford myself only to play Party Poker, because I'm playing 9 or 12 tables at once, so I just don't have enough tournaments on Party at one time. So I need to play 2 or 3 poker rooms in one time. But thank you for your question. So, streaming our game on YouTube and Twitch. What positive moments could it bring to us? First, exclusive gaming conditions. If you're really important and famous streamer, you have a huge amount of subs, so you can ask any poker room to give you exclusive game conditions, and you will stream your sessions on this poker room. And you know, now streaming in YouTube and Twitch, it is really an engine of selling. So poker rooms are really want, and they really subscribe players for them, and they just give them really exclusive conditions. Next, you can get a possibility to get staking. Also, if you're a famous streamer, almost everywhere you can find at least one person who have money to give it to you to play some big tournament, for example. If you're playing only for yourself and your cats at home, you won't find anybody to stake you. So if you stream, you can be staked. The third one, you can earn on donations and advertisement. Advertisement. It is easy to understand, because if you have a lot of subs, they will buy something that you advertise. They can subscribe on something that you advertise, so you can earn money this way. The first one, donations, especially for poker players, it is not the most great source of income, because you know, people think that if you're playing poker and you play in poker for money, you don't need money because you're making money using money. So they don't want to give you a great amount of donations. But it depends also on a streamer, because somebody can earn not by their playing, but by their angry stuff or something like that. Hi Leo, how much can I win per month after training with you? It depends on your abilities, and I think that if you really work hard and if you play 5 days per week, you can earn at the beginning something like 6 or 8 hundreds per month, and then you can just improve your earnings. Self-control. I think it is really a positive moment, because if you're playing and there are, for example, 200 streamers, 200 watchers, you will not allow yourself to do something bad, because chat will say, "Ooh, you're a bad player, you're a fish." So you will control yourself, not to provoke your audience to do this. And also, fan support gives you 10% resistance from bad bits. It is really important. Negative moments. First of all, you could face with negative among the viewers. Why it is bad? Because poker players are really, if they are working only on themselves, they don't use staking companies for earning. They just think that they are really cool guys because they can earn only by themselves. They don't need to go to office, they don't need to go to factory. They just sit at home and earn money, printing money. And if, for example, one person appears in chat and he starts to say something like, "You're a fish, you're a bad player, it was a mistake, it was another mistake," it could really decrease your mind, because you just say, "Come on, I'm a really good player, why are you talking so bad, in such a bad way? Maybe you should shut up," and that's all. But really, it is a problem that you cannot protect yourself from negative from the chat. Thank you for stream. Thank you, Ruslan, for coming. The second one, you need a powerful PC and high-speed internet connection if you want to stream in a good quality. I think we don't need to comment this one. And the third one, if you have a strategy, negative moment is that you can have a disclosure of the elements of your strategy. But if you don't have your strategy, you don't have this problem. It's easy. If you have any questions, you can type it in our chat. And I just want one more minute to tell you that next week we are starting our group course, which is called Iron MTT. It is scheduled. Let me show you. Here's the schedule. The first training will be at 26th of March. So let me tell you a little about this course. You'll get model strategy of the game. All info you can read here. You'll get all the manager info. It is a statistical software which can allow you to know not only info about your opponents, but an info about yourself, about your playing, because Hold'em Manager, the second one, is really powerful stuff to analyze your hands. Also, after this group course, you can get 3 individual trainings with a personal coach, with me, for example. And at these coaching lessons, you'll get all the answers for your questions. Also, if you come to our course, you'll get a bonus of something from 10 to 30 euros. It depends on the poker room that you will pick. How can you get this course? First one, you can buy it for 300 euros, or you can make a deposit in one of our partnered rooms: Party, PokerStars, 3/8 Poker, or PokerDome. It is important that it should be your first registration. So if you can make a deposit until the 26th of March, what will you get? You'll get 3 personal trainings, group lectures, bonus, and your personal manager. A personal manager is priceless because you can contact him almost every time and he will help you with all the problems that you will have. The contact of the manager is below in description. Also link to subscription for this course also in description. So Ruslan, if you want to get a trial lesson, you can contact our manager in description. And using his help, you can contact me and we'll start and we'll do all that you want. So I think that's all. I don't think that you have any questions. So it was really cool to work with you today. Thank you for coming and see you in next videos and next streaming sessions. Bye guys.